Hi everyone. I thought I would make this video for everyone in our community and people who've asked me about streaming. Mainly questions about what to do about toxic behavior in your chat during your streams. Now, I have not been streaming for very long. I've only been streaming for about 2 years, but in that time and in my life experience, I have learned some things. So one of the big things is you have somebody that decides they're going to troll in your chat. Or or this one's a little trickier. Sometimes it's a person that's been a part of your community for a while and, they're mostly okay, but every now and then maybe they say something that makes you uncomfortable or they behave in a manner that makes you uncomfortable. With trolls, it can be a lot to deal with. Like it can feel overwhelming, right? Um, but the thing to do is address it immediately. Like people say, "Oh, just ignore the trolls." Well, the thing is when people are trolling, sometimes they're racist, sometimes they're bigoted, and it hurts. It definitely affects you, and it definitely affects your mental health and your well-being. Um, First and foremost, having really good mods helps a lot. Like having mods that you trust can help a lot with helping to read chat to make sure that people behave accordingly. And before you mod anyone, make sure you talk to them about it first. Don't just like mod like your friend without like asking, just message them first. Say like, "Hey, I really appreciate you supporting the community. I appreciate you. Do you think that maybe you would like to mod for me?" And this way it gives them a choice. Um, Secondly, with the other one, that's a little trickier because I know how overwhelming it can feel and how anxiety inducing it can feel when you think, well, they haven't necessarily broken a rule and they've been part of my community for a while, but I'm not comfortable. So I had a situation similar to this where the person would basically come in and everything was bad and they had like a bad day and they were having a hard time. And I tried to be kind and understanding about it. But sometimes they would trauma dump, and sometimes it would be very, very heavy, and that could be a lot for people in our community. And sometimes the topic could be triggering. So I tried to talk to them privately about it, and tell them, like, hey, this isn't okay. And I'm also not comfortable. And that while we do talk about mental health, it is about support and education and providing, access to information for resources to get the help that we need to help ourselves, with finding a good therapist and, and acknowledging that we need help, but that I am not a therapist and that it is irresponsible for me to even step into that position. Like, I do not have the right to, and it is not safe. And I gave them access to resources that, with people that could help them. So I thought it would be okay. And then the next time they were in my chat, they kind of did it again. And it was very uncomfortable. And then I was very firm and said it wasn't okay and that they needed to not do this. And I again explained why. So they got very rude and they got very belligerent. They got belligerent with me. They got rude and hurtful with some of my mods. And unfortunately, I had to ban them. And it didn't make me feel good. Not at all. The last thing I want to do is hurt anyone. But I realized that I had set clear boundaries and that I had tried to talk to them about it and I had done everything I could, and they were not listening and they were not respecting those boundaries and they were not respecting the boundaries I had set for everyone in our community. And I needed that boundary to be respected, not just for my mental health, but for the mental health of people in our community and, making sure that everyone feels safe and welcome. And the way this person behaved, I didn't necessarily feel safe and comfortable, and neither did a lot of people in my community. So the thing is, yeah, it's hard to do that. It's really hard because we're taught, oh, be polite, don't ruffle any feathers. But here's the thing, you have to feel comfortable in your own space too. So a good friend of mine, basically when this was going on and I was very anxious about it, told me that essentially it's like this. A person in your stream is a guest. It's basically like if you had a guest in your home and the guest decides to be rude, would you allow them to continue to stay in your home and be rude? Or would you ask them to leave because they're being rude? And for me, that was like a light went off. And, my friend told me they are essentially a guest in your home. And you deserve to feel comfortable in your own home and in your own space. So, when a person decides to do this, to push boundaries with you, it's okay to set those boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to tell them this is not okay. And if you have to ban and block, that is okay too. You need to be able to protect yourself and your community. And if the person is not fitting that vibe check for you or they are pushing, it's okay to enforce those boundaries. You don't have to be cruel about it. You can be kind but firm and let them know it's not okay and why. And honestly, when that happened to me, I was firm but gentle and told them this behavior is not okay. And I explained why. And I followed up with, I hope you do better in the next streamer's chat that you visit. And I hope that you learn from this. Because it is important to learn from each experience, each lesson, in order to learn and grow and become better as people. I challenge myself to do that every day. And I'm not perfect. Oh boy, am I not perfect. But I do the best I can to be kind and to explain to people why something is okay or why something might come across as hurtful. Because I think sometimes we need those lessons from each other. We need to learn, like, hey, this is how it looks, this is how it feels. And we need to actually have those open and honest conversations to learn from each other. So, another thing, too, in your stream is to have a clear set of community guidelines, have a clear set of rules about what is okay in your chat and what isn't okay. And, stick to them, be consistent. For example, in my community, we have clear rules about respecting people's pronouns, about respecting everyone, and about being kind, and about not being racist, not being bigots, not being transphobic. Basically, be a decent human being. But I stipulate what being a decent human being is basically do your best to be kind to everyone, be kind, loving, and accepting. And we have a little motto in my community that everyone is welcome, but the bad behavior is not. This is a gentle way to remind people that everyone deserves kindness and that it's important to do our best to be kind. But if people resort to bad behavior, I will either time out, my mods will time out, or there will be a ban. And there will be an explanation of why the behavior is not okay. Because sometimes you get young people in your chat, and sometimes they act up, and sometimes they, don't think things through all the time because they're having a rough day or they're having a rough time. But you always address the behavior immediately. I always do my best to address the behavior immediately and educate and inform on why that behavior is not okay and how we can learn from it and do better. So, with toxic behavior in chat, the best thing to do is address it immediately. And if the person does not fit your vibe check, if they continue to do the bad behavior, it is okay to enforce your boundaries. It is okay to say no. It is okay to ban and block because essentially they are a guest in your home. Everyone is welcome, but bad behavior is not. And it's okay to feel anxious about that. It's hard to stand up for ourselves sometimes and say, no, this isn't okay. But you know what? The other side of that is when you do stand up for yourself and you stand up for others, it gives other people the courage to stand up for themselves and stand up for others too. So I hope this helped a little bit. Remember, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say boundaries. It's okay to set boundaries. Just do your best to be kind to yourselves, to each other, and you know, remember that if a person is mean or they're trolling, it's not necessarily about you. Sometimes they're having a tough day and they're not handling it in a way that isn't hurtful. You know, our condition does not entitle us to be cruel to people. It's important to hold ourselves accountable. I know I have to hold myself accountable for my actions, and we have to hold ourselves accountable for each thing we say and do because that matters. So just be consistent, address it immediately, remind yourself it's okay to say no, and just keep doing your best to be kind. You've got this. I believe in you. I love you all. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. I hope you have a great day wherever you are. Bye, everyone.